Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company of Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have a 1v1 on Kholodny Ferma. Our heroes today are going to be CcArtS03, we'll just call him Art. He's going to be playing for the Soviets, and, well, it looks like he changed his mind. He started building Tier 1 right off the bat, and decided to cancel that, and instead build another engineer. Not much of a problem. I mean, only a couple seconds were wasted there, but, well, usually a player has an idea when he starts the game, but not a problem. I guess that's fine. In any case, on the other side of the map, we're going to have our other hero, which is WarBoss, playing for the Germans. Now, let's see here. We have a Grenadier that just came out, and he's going to be getting a machine gun after that. Pioneer squad is going to the south, going to be capping the fuel point, and probably getting all these points if possible. Has to keep an eye on this cutoff point, WarBoss, because this is rather brutal. It cuts you off from the south part of the map pretty much entirely. For the Soviets, we do see the first engineer squad going north, going for the munitions point rather than the fuel point. It is a highly contested point, usually because of this house. You can stick an MG in there as the Germans and lock down this position quite effectively, at least at the beginning. So usually you want to grab a hold of that. The second engineer squad did end up building Tier 1 for Mr. Art, and we're going to see what he's going to get after that. Probably a scout car? No, actually a penal battalion. Going straight for the penal battalions. We don't usually see those, at least not that much. Penal battalions are, well, pretty much like conscripts as far as strength goes. I believe they have the same health and armor values, but they have the ability to get flamethrowers. So essentially they are more combat engineers. But yeah, they're not that commonly seen. Usually you see snipers and scout cars from the Tier 1. So it's quite interesting. Penal battalions. Let's see how effective they are. As far as the German player, he is not currently doing anything. WarBoss, well, as far as producing, he currently has 2 Grenadiers, 1 MG, and his initial Pioneers. We do see an engagement down here at the south. This is between combat engineers and Grenadiers. The engineers are going to lose that quite badly. They immediately lost one guy, just lying right there on the floor. And the Grenadiers are actually chasing them because they do have... No, they are going to actually turn around and chase. They are caught behind lines, essentially, so I'm guessing he wants to try to get a kill there. The SMGs from the Pioneers up close here are going to be able to provide them the advantage. So these engineers are in quite a bit of trouble right now. We do see a scout car coming out from Tier 1. He's probably going to pick up the penal battalion, which I'm assuming is probably going to get that flamer. Yeah, flamethrowers on the way. So it's essentially the same as having an engineer in there, but, well, 2 more riflemen on there, so a little bit more firepower. Unusual, but, well, it's legitimate strategy. He's actually going for a second penal battalion, so yeah, he's forgoing the conscripts, so instead of getting conscripts, he's going to go for penal battalions. Haven't seen that before. Let's see how effective it is. Anyways, in the center, we do see the MG set up, which is currently taking shots at the scout car, but the scout car is going to come up behind it and start flaming it with that penal battalion. There is a Faust, and it missed? Yeah, I think the Faust missed completely because it's not even engine damage. And as far as I know, the Faust should always do engine damage when it hits. It doesn't matter what it hits. Anyways, there are 2 MGs set up here, so the scout car is taking a lot of damage, so it's going to go ahead and retreat. And we do see the forces down at the south retreating. I'm assuming he's probably going to go build some type of tech at base. Otherwise, I don't see any reason to retreat. We do see the high concentration of German units in the center. He is putting an MG in the church, an MG down south, from the church that is. And we do see a penal battalion going for the south, so he's going to be alerted that there's movement over there because he currently controls all the south. WarBoss, that is. There is a combat engineer going for the center, which is currently going to get shot at by the machine guns and probably going to retreat rather soon. The scout car is going to get this machine gun out of that church. He is not retreating though, and they're currently clumped up, so he should be careful with that one. And there he goes. He sets up to aim at the scout car, but this machine gun is currently down to one man, and if he is not careful, he's going to lose it. And there you go. He lost that machine gun. Probably going to get crewed up by those engineers, I would assume. Panzerfaust does get a hit off, and that scout car goes down. Penal Battalion is down in health and down to 4 men. So they should potentially get out of there, although they do manage to get the cap, and he does get the combat engineers to pick up that machine gun. Probably gonna go ahead and retreat though, because he is caught between a machine gun and the enemy base. It's not a good place to be. Although he didn't get suppressed on his unit, so he's going around for the flank. It's only one. He does retreat that one. There's only 2 men in this penal battalion, but he does have a flamethrower on them, so he could do a lot of damage to his machine gun. He should retreat this one. He is retreating, but it's pinned. So that answers the question from the previous game, whether machine guns keep firing when they're pinned. They do, because this guy is set up. Only the other guys get hit on the floor. Unfortunately, though, he's going to lose the machine gun. He could have used that later on if he had retreated it. And he didn't manage to get that machine gun. He did take some guys out, but, well, I think that was a loss for the Soviet player, Mr. Art. There's only one combat engineer left here. Get him out of there. I think he's going down. Yeah. Loses a combat engineer, unfortunately, so the German player, WarBoss, is now in a very favorable position. He does have a half-track out on the field, which is going to start doing some heavy damage, because I'm assuming he's going to be getting flaming warfers on that. And that is going to rip through the infantry. As far as tech goes, nothing else is being currently produced by the Soviet player. And as far as the axes, he is not currently producing anything. He did call in, well, not call in, but he did produce a Panzer Grenadier squad. The assault rifles on these guys are gonna do a lot of damage to the infantry. Penal battalions are just as strong as conscripts, and conscripts normally lose out. Although they do have grenades, which, well, that satchel, ooh, that was one good satchel. Didn't see it in time and ended up losing an entire Panzer Grenadier, which is a very good win for the Soviets. These guys are getting attacked on retreat, but they should be able to make it. The SMGs on the Pioneers aren't that strong. And he didn't chase with the half-track. So, yeah, that penal squad makes it out of there with 2 men left. We still don't see a lot of field presence for the Soviet player. He did call in a guard squad to get some more infantry presence on the field. Guard squad is going to be able to deter the half-track. Sorry, guys. But it is currently being attacked by 2 grenadier squads, so he needs to get them out of there. And now he's going to lose that. Yeah, there we go. 1 guard squad down. Fortunately for the Soviet player, they did not drop any of their PTRS rifles, otherwise he would be in an even worse position. We do see a replacement Panzer Grenadier squad coming out for Mr. WarBoss, and that is hopefully going to have a little bit of a longer lifespan than the previous one. Satchel charges are brutal, but it's very difficult for them to land. They do have a long fuse time. Lucky for him, he did manage to catch him with his pants down, essentially. He wasn't watching in that side and ended up losing that entire squad. Satchel charges do have a very big blast range, so it's something to keep in mind. Penal squad does have its own flamethrower, but I think the flamethrowers on the half-track are a little bit better, considering they're coming from a fucking half-track. So the penal squad ends up retreating. Probably going to end up calling in another guard squad, I would assume, because otherwise this half-track could just simply running into his base. If he knew that, he could run in and, well, do a lot of damage. But, well, thankfully for the Soviet player, Mr. Art, he's not being that ballsy. However, there is I believe that's a T-70? Yeah, there's a T-70 being produced that is going to be able to counter that half-track quite effectively, even chase it down if necessary, but there is also the Panzerfaust on the Grenadiers to keep in mind, so it cannot just simply run around without any cares. But we do see a grenade coming on top of this penal squad. One guy goes down, a lot of damage is done, and the flamethrower is actually quite effective against the Panzer Grenadiers. They are down to 2 men. Penal squad down to 3, but there is the Flammenwerfer coming up, so he needs to get out of there now. 2 men left, they're running the gauntlet. 1 guy left, getting burned, but he managed to get out of there. Another lucky squad there. We do see the T-70 hitting the field. He is going to be attacking this machine gun. The machine gun is going to go down quite fast if he doesn't retreat. He is retreating now, which is good. And these Grenadiers also need to get out of there. They can get a Panzerfaust out, but the T-70 can shoot out of the range of the Panzerfaust and do a lot of damage if he's not careful. We do see both a penal squad and a engineer squad up here in the north with them. He is not moving up to counter these. There he goes. The half-track did go in and harass a little bit at the base, but the machine gun emplacement managed to do a little bit of damage and convince it that it wasn't his best idea. Did he lose the Grenadiers? Yeah. T-70 went ahead and took down an entire Grenadier squad. Penal Battalion is going to cap the fuel point, and that T-70 is now going to be moving to the south. There is really nothing on the field for the Axis player, Mr. WarBoss, to counter that T-70, but he is currently building a Panzer IV, I believe. And let's see, T-70 is currently taking shots at that half-track. Well, he needs to chase it, and, well, there is a mine there, so he's probably baiting it. Ooh, let's see if it goes for it. It's gonna hit it. Oh, that is one beautiful mine. Teller mine, 1 shot. That is a beautiful move, WarBoss. Beautiful move. Okay, so now the Soviet player is on the back foot. That T-70 was providing him the shock that he needed to get some foothold on the field. It was going to be able to counter that that half track. It almost got it actually, and it would have taken out these machine guns. And unless he got Panzer Shreks on these Panzer Grenadiers, there wasn't much he was going to be able to do. But now, it's going to... Ooh, move it! Ooh! Little bit of a reaction time there, WarBoss. And, yeah, the penal squads do get out of there. That is quite effective, I guess. I mean, it is very dependent on your opponent slipping up and not paying attention, because satchel charges do have long fuse time. Usually even a grenade doesn't land a big blow, but you have to keep in mind though that the satchel charge has a big blast radius. In any case, Panzer IV hits the field and the Soviet player has nothing to counter it. So he jumps out of that building with a penal squad and runs away. The only thing that can do something to it right now is this CcArtS squad, and all it can do is just slowly blink away at its health. It can if he upgrades the machine guns. I forget what they're called, these guys, the DP light machine guns. These are going to be able to button the tank, but, well, that's not going to really do anything. All it's going to do is essentially stun it. It's going to slow it down. So you need something else to accompany that. Even a T-34, I mean, he does have, you know, tier 3. Even a T-34 with, you know, guards could do the job, but it needs to be heavily supported. It would have to be an actual push. In any case, for WarBoss, we do see another Panzer Grenadier hit the field. Those are going to be great against the infantry. The penal squad here, penal battalion, is now at Vet 2, and at Vet 2 they gain some durability, so they're going to be able to you know, stay there a little bit longer. We do see that Mr. Art built a fuel cache at this strategic point, which is currently getting shot by the machine gun point blank, trying to take it down. It is going to be able to take it down unless these guys get on there in time, but it's actually not likely. Yep, there he goes. And they're starting to take that point down. We do see the Panzer IV down at the south. He's taking shots at the Penal Battalion, but it just got out of there. Has increased durability, so it's not gonna, not gonna go anywhere. But we do see that the T-34 ended up getting on the field. So like I mentioned, this is not a counter, but more of a deterrent, so that he doesn't just simply, run that tank into the base and kill all of them. This, I think this squad was just produced and rallied here because it just ran into a tank, but thankfully the tank was going somewhere else and they're not dead. And this Grenadier squad was also going somewhere else and it's not currently dead. This is one lucky combat engineer squad. In any case, we see the Panzer IV going for the T-34. He's going to try to flank it. If he... no, he didn't actually get it. Well, he rams that tank to at least, destroy it. Wait. No, that's Mark vehicle. It's going to take a little bit more damage from the rifle. It's going to get more penetration on there, I believe. But I don't think it's going to be enough to kill it. On the plus side for the Soviet player, there's also nothing on the field for the Axis player, Mr. WarBoss, to kill this T-34. It's relatively close to the base, so he could get it back into fighting position. He needs to make a push, though, for it, make sure that he clears out these Grenadiers and all other types of support, and get it repaired quickly, because the tank is right there, and if he gets that weapon repaired, this tank is done for, because as opposed to the German tank, whenever you ram, you get immobilized. There is a possibility of immobilizing the enemy tank. There could roll that the engine gets heavy damage, but it's not always the case. And let's see here. We do see a combat engineer being produced. The one in the south did end up getting murdered because it was rallied there and nobody was paying attention to them, unfortunately. But hopefully they can get in time, but it doesn't look likely. This tank is almost repaired if he actually made a push. Oh, look at that. He used the ability? Oh yeah, he used the passive crew repair training ability. If he can get those pioneers out of the way and not repair them, come on. There you go, he managed to get it out. So this tank is now at its mercy. However, there is a second Panzer IV coming up behind, which is gonna be unfortunate. He might be able to get it down, though. He is getting some crit shots on the back. Come on. Just one more shot and you can probably get out of there. One more. And there we go. So he at least got one Panzer IV out, but he needs to get out of there. I don't think he's going to make it out unless he pins it, but he doesn't have his guard squads here. Guard squads are currently at base, so unfortunately this tank is going to be killed. It is going to do some damage on the Panzer IV, but that is, well, unimportant. Actually, he did have the guard squad here. He could have buttoned it. Well, maybe he didn't have the munitions for it. 32. I'm not entirely sure how much munitions it needs. But, well, that was unfortunate. So again, there is only guards rifles here, which are going to do some damage to the tanks, but not a lot. And I guess that's it. Mr. Art decided that he didn't have enough. He really didn't have enough at this point. I mean, he could have held on a little bit longer, but also the victory points were, well, down to half on him and almost full for Mr. WarBoss. So a pretty good play by the German player. It was quite interesting, though, to see penal battalions instead of conscripts. Those satchel charges were actually incredibly effective. It is very difficult to use them because they have a long fuse time, but they also have a large blast radius, and they ended up killing a Panzer Grenadier squad here and a half-track here. So at the very least, they were, worth it. They are 45 munitions, so they are a little bit expensive. But, well, if you can get a kill of at least a unit with them, I believe they're worth it. But, well, in any case, I hope you guys enjoyed this game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, leave them in the comment section below. And if you have any replays you want to send me to make a game, go ahead and do that. I'll put the email on the description in the comments. I mean, in the description below. Sorry, guys. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.